again? Okay. No, this is primarily, what I want to say is that human flatteners, and he's just one example. The other example, which created this détente between the races, not only the nations, was Nelson Mandela. He forgets to mention that he, with his policy of reconciliation, where he did not go after the past rulers, which was which used to be the trend, which used to be the norm, that once a revolution is successful, you go after the perpetrators. But instead of going after the perpetrators, Nelson Mandela went on the policy of reconciliation, bringing the whites and the blacks together. Wasn't that one of the biggest flatteners in the history? As against that, if you look at Zimbabwe, the example of Zimbabwe, because this person did not follow the path of Nelson Mandela of reconciliation, and see the outcome of the policies of pursuing, or not, I wouldn't use persecuting, but actually at least trying to get a payback for the past injustices. See the difference between the two examples there. Zimbabwe on one hand and South Africa on the other hand. Now, one more biggest contributors or the implications of this globalization is the cultural amalgamation. The cultures are now being so receptive, not only receptive, but also understanding of each other. You are sitting here, from various places, and each one brings an identity. Each one brings a culture which is unique. When you are separate, you have no exposure to the other cultures, no exposure to the strengths of other cultures, to the beauties of other cultures. But this globalization is now making you understanding of those cultures, and if there are any preconceived biases, or if there are any judgments based on the lack of exposure, are removed once you get together. And I'm sure once you get together, you realize that most people have similar problems. Most people have the stresses of the bills, the stresses of the taxes, the stresses of the family, which are common. Whether you come from Bangladesh, or you come from Brazil, or you come from Europe, the human problems stay the same. Or whether you come from the United States, we pay bills too, by the way. No, and on top of that, we don't get health care, and we have to pay taxes too. So all these things are common. Now, even this interaction, this lecture that we are having today, is a product of that globalization. You're sitting there, I'm coming from a perspective of a person sitting in New Jersey. This is the online education. This is where we're bringing the barriers down. Thanks to Skype, we are able to flatten the world. We are able to see each other and communicate with each other. And is there anyone who has experience with online education, distance education, here in this class?
Yeah, I know. I did it once. Before. I did it once before when I was in university.
It is useful.
Right, very useful.
Useful is pretty generic. Can you give me, what that use is? What that useful means to you?
Well, it's because plus for learning a new language, and it allows you to learn languages from people actually living in the other country.
So